I want to take you back to a math class. Remember when we learned to work with fractions? We learned the principle of the common denominator. Only fractions of the same denominator can be added or subtracted. Fractions with different denominators were considered to be like apples and oranges. You cannot add them. You would have to convert them into equivalents. I put it to you, dear Kenyans, that we have a common denominator in Kenya today. Let me explain. You see, it is true that this country is in tough times. It is true that we have a cash crunch leading to delayed disbursement of salaries and even money to the 47 counties that constitute our devolved system. In fact, I have spoken here before about the agony faced by those who have supplied goods and services to the counties, waiting for years for payment. Even by the time COVID-19 pandemic landed on our shores, we were already in tough times. The Kenya Revenue Authority was already missing set targets. Folks, it's also true that Kenyans seeking to import goods are having a hard time finding the dollars they need to make those purchases. Let me tell you what else is true. Our debt is reaching higher levels, edging closer and closer to the 10 trillion shilling ceiling that was set by Parliament. You know what, though? This did not happen overnight. We didn't just get here in the last few months. This crisis has been years in the making. More than just a few years, actually. It's been more than 10 years. In 2013, the new administration then borrowed more in 2 years than their predecessor Mwai Kibaki did in his last 5 years as president. It is also true that in the 2 years leading up to June 2020, the Uhuru administration borrowed a whopping 2.5 billion shillings daily. When the what was widely known as Uhuruto administration took power in 2013, they inherited a debt of 1.89 trillion shillings. That stood at over 9 trillion shillings in 2022. Now, here is the common denominator in all of this. Both Raila Odinga and President William Ruto played a key role in the affairs of this country throughout that time. Now, depending on which side you support, I know this is what you'll say. If you support Raila Odinga, you will likely say that he is not to blame for the crisis, even though he was one half of that handshake. You will say he wasn't really running the country or making decisions. On the other hand, if you support the president, you will likely say that he was sidelined in the last term of the Uhuru Kenyatta administration, and it was during the handshake that things went wrong. Whichever way you look at it, they were both there then, and they're both here now. And it is not just since 2013. Both of these gentlemen have held leadership roles in our country for quite a long time. At some point, even working in the same government and on the same side of the political aisle. So what am I saying? The attempts by both of these men to distance themselves from the past and the decisions that got us here now is exhausting. Both men are seemingly stuck in the past and looking for something or someone there to blame for the situation we find ourselves in today. Both seem to be running very fast from their own shadows. Yet both were a part of our past, and more importantly, a significant part of our present. Gentlemen, you were there then. You are here now. You have each at some point in the past defended the high cost of living and defended the high debt. So stop the blame game. Stop looking in the rearview mirror. Stop behaving like the squirrel that runs away from its hairy, bushy tail. Either fix it or leave us be. That's my take tonight.